Welcome to PMPA's Final Cut of the Week, where we share important information you may have missed while you were making essential parts. I'm Renee Merker.
And I'm David Wynn, and this is what you need to know for the week ending December 8th, 2023. According to Barron's, the ISM Manufacturing Index came in at 46.7 in November, which is equal to the October reading. The November reading came in just under the expected 47.6. The index is now in the 13th month of contraction. Our take? One bright spot in the survey was an uptick in new orders to 48.3. Being the second miss in a row may indicate a few rough months ahead. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. Contraction is part of the business cycle, which is always followed by a steep increase.
Google has a new AI that can interpret all data, not just text. It will be able to generate information from photos and videos along with the text, and it will also be able to summarize conversations, suggesting message replies on the new Pixel 8 phones. Google is calling the new model Gemini. As AI technology keeps evolving, we can now have the power of AI in our pocket. Being able to index your photos, videos, and other content will make it more accessible to you, making you more productive.
JOLTS job opening index in October came in at 8.73 million, about 617,000 less than in September. The index came in at 0.56 million, under the consensus estimate. Although traditionally seen as a negative economic sign, a decrease in total openings shows a loosening of the labor market. More available labor is great for our shops. We need great talent, and there will be less competition for that talent.
On this week's Speaking of Precision podcast, Miles Free, Carly Kistler-Miller, and David recap the roles of women in manufacturing series from the Production Machining magazine, which featured the journey and advice of over 20 women in different manufacturing roles. This podcast and our Speaking of Suppliers podcast can be found on major podcast platforms or on PMPA.org.
Now it's time for our weekly tip. An improperly defined repeatability and reproducibility, or R&R, program can drain a company of resources and reduce the effectiveness of our shops. ISO states that variation studies, quote, shall apply to measurement systems referenced in the control plan, unquote. To learn a suggested approach to applying logic to the requirement, go to PMPA.org's Knowledge Centers or Final Cut of the Week.
And that's our take on what you need to know for the week ending December 8, 2023. For additional information and links about any of the topics discussed today, go to PMPA.org and click on Final Cut of the Week.
Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next Friday.